Hello, and welcome to Making Good Heavy Duty Shelves. Alright, so 1. Assess the weight you're going to be storing on your shelf and design accordingly. This setup should easily hold 200 pounds between each stud. I'm going to store rarely used building supplies like stacks of tiles and boxes of flooring. 2. Locate the optimal spot for your shelf. In my case, these items will rarely need to be accessed, so I don't want them to occupy prime real estate. I'm going to be installing this shelf in the void on the right hand side of my garage door. 3. You'll need the following materials for this build. A 3/4 inch thick plywood sheet, or something equivalent, like 3 1x6 boards, or plunder your scrap wood pile and come up with something. You'll need several heavy duty L brackets that have a steel strut. I got a 20 inch by 15 from Knapp and Vogue for $6 each, and they're rated to carry up to 1,000 pounds. Minimum 2 lag bolts for each of these L brackets you get, and make sure they're between 3 and 4 inches long. 4. You'll need to have the following tools: a drill and an appropriately sized drill bit to drill pilot holes for your lag bolts. You can size this by holding the drill bit up to the lag bolt and match the thicknesses, not counting the threads. You'll need a socket wrench or an impact drill if you have one on hand, a pencil. You'll need a level, a stud finder. You're also going to need your mitts. Yeah! Number 5, and probably the most important, is safety. Be safe. Wear your safety glasses and a dust mask when needed. Alright, for installation, the first thing we're going to need to do is locate our studs. These are the 2x4s that are inside your wall underneath the sheetrock. To do this, I'm going to be using a stud finder. You could do it the old-fashioned way, just by knocking on the wall. Generally, the idea is it's going to show a light where the actual studs are. Just make sure to mark where the outer boundaries of each stud is, and then make your own mark for where the center of that stud is. If you have an unfinished garage, you may have the luxury of the wall studs actually being painted on for you as a rough guide where they might be. Alright, now to set the height. How high do you want this to be? Well, in my case, I already know. I want it to be right above the action where the garage door actually comes up. I don't want it to impede on any of the mechanics for the garage door, and I want it to be kind of out of the way. So I'm going to give it about 2 inches of clearance above and away from the garage door. Pick your elevation, mark it, put it up against the wall, and draw little circles in where the holes actually mount. Drill that first pilot hole. Only go about 3 inches deep, or however deep your lag bolt is. For added surface area and grip, I put a washer on these lag bolts. You may or may not need to do this. I'm going to be putting 2 lag bolts in the wall per shelving L bracket. This should securely fasten it to the studs that are actually in the wall, giving it rigidity and strength. Start fastening the L bracket into the wall. Don't tighten down all the way. Take the level gauge and put it up against the L bracket. You're looking to see if it's actually level and straight, vertically. If it's where you want it, and then tighten down that top bolt. Now drill your pilot hole on the bottom hole, and then drive in that lag bolt. Now on to the next L bracket. Repeat the same process by lining up the L bracket to the line. Drill the pilot hole. Secure the bracket to the wall with a lag bolt. And then take your level and make sure that it's vertically aligned, that it's level, and then drive in that lag bolt. Drill your pilot hole on the bottom one and affix it to the wall with a lag bolt. Now that you have 2 shelving brackets, there's a little trick I do. I like to get a scrap piece of wood and put it across those 2 brackets, and on that I can put all my tools, what have you, as I go on to the next one. Finally, I'm going to be cutting down a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, take a 2x4 and align one end, and I clamp it down. I go over to the other end, and I clamp it down. This is going to be used as a guide. Now all I have to do is take my circular saw, press it up against a piece of wood, and cut. Now put your piece of wood that you cut into place. This should generally be easy enough to do, but you may or may not need help from a friend to do that. When fastening the board to the shelves, try to put something heavy on top of the wood. This holds the wood down while you're actually driving a screw up from underneath. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, just subscribe.